Wait, are you a desert girl as well?
I went to
love
Arizona
the
State,
desert.
and
Okay.
I used to do there, so I love it. It's like fun.
Amazing.
It was fun for me.
Oh my God. No, what else is there to do in Arizona?
Stripping. What
Yeah.
else? I don't know.
Wait, I started taking
good
pole
life.
classes. They're so fun.
It's
Do you
really
know how to
hard.
do that?
No, I was terrible. It was a year long. It was in Florida, and I was so bad.
Wait, you were a bad stripper.
Worst. The worst. I was just nasty. I was like a mean bitch that was like, give me your money.
And you wouldn't do any tricks or any
No,
dancing?
I would do like floor work, like barely. Like barely.
Floor work being like sitting down and being like
rolling probably on the ground and going like.
Welcome to a very, very spicy episode of Wrong Sauce. I've lotioned my hair up. I have put on my Latino buttoned up garb here.
Which you're allowed to wear.
Right, because I am a Latina.
Right.
And I thought I would really signal to La Raza my heritage here. And here we have an amazing guest with us. Femcel 1836, a comedy writer and TikToker extraordinaire. We are so excited to have her here. She is a viral sensation. Everybody welcome Femcel 1836.
Oh my God. Thank
Happy
you
to
for
have you.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. We actually had the bat signal sent out to us on your behalf because you had the viral video where you were talking to KTLA News.
Yes.
And we're not KTLA, but we are the next best thing, La Salsa Mala, Wrong Sauce Podcast, here to answer your call. And you were talking about your perils in these queer streets.
Yeah. Alleyways, if anything, truly.
Not everybody knows what the video was about. Give a little summation.
Yeah, well, I just said that if I don't get laid soon, you're going to hear about it on the nightly news.
Yep.
So I warned KTLA. They haven't reached out to me, but you guys did. And this is honestly quality journalism. So
Thank
I'm
you.
glad.
We really try here.
And I am glad to say the deed did happen. So for now, the city is safe. We're good. But the main issue was there was an older woman that I had met, and I felt that we had a vibe, and we had a couple not date things. And then finally, there was a bit of a confrontation, and she said, "I feel what you feel, but you're too young," which to me was a little bit of just, I took it as a challenge. And
like
then
that.
I seduced her, and now we are lovers.
Oh my God, good.
I love that. Can I ask you more details? And I know that this was possibly answered in the TikTok, but I just want you to alert all of our listeners the age that we're dealing with here.
So I am 25 and she is 67.
Incredible. That is a hell of an age gap.
Age gap love.
Age gap love.
Yes.
May I ask if, and I know this might not be appropriate.
Uh-oh.
I know. Bring it on.
I'm sorry, but when you're 67 and you're a white,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you don't age as well.
Mhm.
And when you're ethnic, such as myself,
Yes.
you do age a bit more gracefully.
That's fair.
That is
so
fair.
where is she in that
white or
yeah,
ethnic?
in white or ethnic?
I don't want to be specific because I don't want to give away her details.
Fair.
I would say she has aged very well.
Okay.
Well, what I tell everyone when I say she's 67, I just immediately say, if you saw her, you would get it. If you saw her, you would get it.
Totally.
She's very hot. When I first saw her, I honestly thought she was 49.
People
Okay,
can get work
that's-
done.
Oh yeah. Listen, we
We're
are
pro
work. We are pro
Yeah.
work, and
If you want, or if you don't
right,
want, whatever.
because it's
But she's no work.
no work,
No
just
work.
beauty.
No work.
No
No,
Botox?
she's very like butch, masculine. I mean, I guess
okay.
we're in 2025. Butches can get Botox, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
she hasn't.
I
far as
do.
I know.
I just started actually.
Oh my God. I started when I was 18 years old slanging that shit at a
Oh
med
my
spa. That's when I started. Doesn't matter.
But no, she looks really good, and I think 49 is a very hot age for a woman. And
Amazing.
she looks 49.
And now you said that there was a sensual massage that was involved in your seduction of this individual. How did that go down? Were you guys like, hey, we're hanging out as friends. Let's watch a movie. I'll sensually touch you at night.
Natural progression.
The natural progression.
We met at a party.
We were gonna ask.
We met at a lesbian tree trimming party. Not a euphemism, just a Christmas tree trimming party.
I thought bush.
You, me too.
I went bush.
When I got the invite for lesbian tree trimming party, I was like, no, it's December. This is really just an innocent tree trimming.
Okay. Because I'd go to a I would trim bush.
Yeah, I would too.
Wait, that's a great party idea.
I've done full wax with a friend, like lip, cheek, like everything out. I told you about that in my living room.
Yeah, and you don't know if you have a real friend unless they will wax your bush. That's a
or
true
your
friend.
B-hole, your B-town.
Your B-town. Yeah, if they will get your B-town boogie swiped up with some wax, you've got yourself a friend for life.
Yeah.
Always remember that.
Anyways,
if I called Tallulah today and said, you know what, Tallulah, after pod, I need you to grease me up.
I would.
And strip me down.
I would.
Yeah, you would be like, oh my God, what a treat.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
I would trust you.
Yeah, I mean, I
trustworthy.
was an esthetician in another life.
That's true.
So I love it.
Do you think this would be better in a group setting?
I mean, I've done it in group settings.
Wow.
I would love to do that for a Patreon episode.
It'd be a live show.
We need like a double.
I would love a live show.
Or
But
if there was a way you could put like a I don't know, like a tiny box or like something.
yeah, like a blur.
Yeah. Oh, a blur is fine too.
Yeah. A blur box.
I would do it.
Great.
Anyways. Okay.
Future idea.
Sorry about
We're
that.
always thinking.
Content.
Okay, so the sensual massage, how did it go down?
We met at a party, and I immediately knew what I wanted from her the second I saw her. We started talking, and I don't know how we got into this topic. I think because she works in healthcare. I don't want to say what. She works in healthcare as something, and then also is a licensed masseuse. And I mentioned that I have.
Oh my God.
I know, crazy. She can save your life and also give you a massage after.
That is such a cool mix. Okay.
Sweet vixen of the night.
Yes. And and I mentioned that I struggle a little bit with shortness of breath. Maybe it's the deviated septum. Maybe it's the anxiety. I don't know. Maybe it's the smog in LA. It could be all three. But
Maybe you just wanted a touch.
yeah, maybe.
And it was a little bit of
An in.
I need someone to open me up.
Yeah.
Open up those
Yes.
airways.
So we all.
And she said that she could give me a massage that would help with that. And she started massaging my forearms, basically.
At the party.
At the party. And we were getting a lot of looks. Like, we were getting looks of people who were like, oh, here we go. Because I guess they kind of think of her that way. She, to this day, insists that she was not hitting on me. Even though what she was saying to me while she was massaging me, these were her words. She said, a massage is like a seduction. And you have to slowly work the skin and the muscles open. And she said the skin is like sand. Like, if you just hit sand, nothing will happen, right? Because it'll just cluster and stay together. But if you slowly work into the sand, it'll open up. And it's kind of like a seduction, a flirtation. And she's saying all this about opening up and seduction.
I do not think that's seduction.
She's just gaslighting you.
Yeah, it's a full gaslight.
Yeah. She's gaslighting
Yeah.
you.
Which, like,
I respect it.
well done.
It's my favorite.
I know you respect the gaslight.
I do.
If done well.
Yeah. Well, honestly, even if it's bad, I'm like, just double down and then it's great. You know?
You're wild,
I respect
dude.
it.
You're wild. Wait, did you go up to her or did she go up to you and just start, opening up the sand?
This my new euphemism. I think it was like a little bit mutual. I was sitting at a table, someone got up, there was like a chair open, I just kind of like waved hi to introduce myself, and then we immediately just got into seduction.
So you're at this party, she's opening up your sand, and then you're like, oh, wow, this was so nice. We should hang out as friends?
I just said, because then we talked about stretching and other kind of like...
I'm like, see, it's coming on to you.
Yeah. Okay.
I brought up stretching. She brought up sand. I brought up stretching. And I said, we should go work out sometime and you can show me some of your stretch techniques, because she's like very health skilled. And so we went on a hike, and then we went back to her place, and I asked, can you show me how to do that for our massage technique?
And when you ask these things, do you say it in that tone, or are you saying it more with like slutty eyes and seductively? I just have to like know what you're giving back, the energy.
I see you really like details. No, but that's a good question.
Well, because it matters.
Yeah. I think I said that mostly innocently. Like I was genuinely like that. It really, she did a good job, you know,
I bet.
on the forearm, which, you know, if you're having lesbian sex, you need to have strong and then also loosen up your forearms after. So I was like, I need to learn this technique. So I just said, can
to
you
help you after.
Yeah, or her and, you know, both of us now.
Right.
But us.
As a unit.
Just said innocently, can you show me how to do it on you so I know how to do it for someone? Then she started massaging my calf. And then we kind of just like, you know, just progressed. We had a natural chemistry.
Okay.
And this is
Innocent?
maybe people will not like this. Oh, I don't care. But I didn't try to escalate that. I was just dipping my toe in the water. I didn't want to escalate it that first time because I was kind of maybe seeing someone at the time. Not exclusively, but it was new. But I was like, I don't want to start another thing.
Yeah.
But then that new thing ended in January. And so January, I was like, okay, let's get it on with this 67-year-old.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then how did you seal the deal? Was it a spider monkey jump? Like what was
a fierce attack? No, the second time we did another massage.
I see there's a running theme.
It's so easy for it to turn into something more, you know.
I totally agree. I used this tactic the other night, actually.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Do you have oils? Like, what's your...
No, because it was super impromptu.
Lubriderm?
I wish. You know, I'm a big believer in the Lubriderm.
Oh my God.
I use it for
Loves
my hair
Lubriderm.
Specifically.
It's a good trick.
But it is also really good for the skin, I hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you hear?
That is what I hear.
She
yeah.
really
You
only
tell
uses it
people.
for her
I use
hair.
it for my hair, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
why she
Oh
does
my
it.
God.
That's a
It
fact.
also could be good for the skin.
She has no idea because she only puts it in her hair.
That's true. Actually, I'm sure people think I'm very strange for that, but that's true. Yeah, and I use that tactic. It was like, oh yeah, my foot hurts, not me. And she was like, my foot hurts. I was like, oh yeah, let me just, whatever. And then it escalated into, I can heal your pain.
A good time.
Not just in the feet.
Yeah, I did a kind of move up the thigh, and
So you get it.
of course I do. Yeah, I really do. I've run the gamut in these in the danceteria of the mating game.
Yeah.
Danceteria.
So but that's what happened. Well, the second time we met up, massage after dinner. And this was also like a close, like physical massage now. Like it wasn't like a...
With oil.
Like doing arm or whatever.
No, I was like on her back and I was like right behind her and she was like pressed up against me. So I'm like, okay, this is like not the massage I would, as like a physical therapist or something. This is one-on-one now.
It's a chest massage.
And then she was massaging me. I think I said this in the TikTok, the original one, but she was like, okay, I'm going to have to ask you to leave before I seduce you.
Yes.
And I was like, I can do it. Like, why do you have to be the one to do it? And she was like, no, you're too young for me. And I spun around because over dinner, all we did was talk about banging and our preferences for it.
Right.
And I'm
yeah, that could be confusing if you get back and then she's just like, no.
And we bonded. We had so much in common. So
Yeah.
I was like, why would you?
But can you understand her perspective?
No.
No.
No, she did all this stuff before.
So tease.
I'm not letting it go. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
okay.
not fair. You're getting me excited. You're taking me to dinner. We're talking about what we're essentially going to do, that we're on the same page. And then you're just like, oh, I just can't.
Yeah, you can't make me
taking your
pre-leak.
shirt
Yeah,
off.
pre-leak. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
not nice. It feels like off.
Right.
I guess this is what we should say because people are going to lose their shit.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to, you're allowed to change your mind.
A woman can always change her mind.
Of course.
But, this sounds a little bit different than just like a last minute like mind change. It's like, I couldn't do this. It's like, then why were you talking
But she
about
was
it?
f***ing with you. Has
Yeah.
she admitted that yet?
I think, our friends say that. Our friends say that. They say that she has been a womanizer for 40 plus years.
Okay.
A known lesbian criminal, queer criminal.
So,
Okay.
so
she's got legend.
she's out. She is. And that's why people are giving us looks at the party. They're like, here we go. Even though to this day, she insists it was purely just a massage. But
Is the legend about her, if I may ask, that she goes after younger women?
no, to be clear,
What is the legend?
She's just
She's a
bangs
hot
a
whore.
lot. She's a hot whore. She's
Yeah.
67. She's
Respect.
OG. She's been like doing it since like 16. Like she was like an OG lesbian
Right.
in the city that she's from, which I think is very cool. A lot of history there.
Stonewall lesbian.
Exactly. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
What does
maybe
that mean?
literally.
I'm sorry.
So that's
I don't know
where
the math.
that's literally where like the revolution happened essentially.
Where or
It
time
happened
period?
in New York City.
In New York. Okay.
Yes, at a place called Stonewall.
And Stonewall lesbian is you were a lesbian
Where
pioneer.
you're a pioneer.
You're a pioneer lesbian in
OG
New York.
lesbian that you were like, fighting the good
real fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Good to know.
before Pride parades had like Chase Bank floats.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was
Real.
very, like
Pioneer
people would
lesbian.
be, kind of slaughtered and
Okay.
and yeah.
That's
So
good
it was
that
it
we
was
know
very
now.
it was very ballsy. There's something very hot about that.
Thank you. I say it feels like I'm sleeping with a relic.
Yes.
Almost. It's actually like historical.
Yeah, you're sleeping with history.
I'm sleeping with history.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like
It's like sleeping with a mummy.
Yeah. Wow.
resurrected.
Yeah, a resurrected
A
very
sexy resurrected mummy.
Literally, that I'm assuming what is that? A wife pleaser with like very butch, like slick back hair. That's what I'm picturing. Don't ruin my fantasy. Okay.
I'm like, I actually think that that's also what I'm picturing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, very like rides a motorcycle.
I'll let you own this is one more hot historical thing.
Love
you know
it.
those photography books? Like if you go into the queer section, it'll
Yeah.
be like Queer Life, New York, 1982 to 1990.
She's in it.
Someone was at a bookstore one day. One of her friends was flipping through one, and there was a photo of her with her girlfine in like the 70s.
Oh,
Right.
That's so cool. That's
And
really cool.
that's
Like, there's Rachel.
yeah.
like, oh my God, I know
There's
her.
Rachel. I know her from Stonewall.
Actually, the exact vibe. It's amazing how you just know.
I love that.
But I'm like, that's hot. When she showed me that photo, I was like, this is unbelievably attractive.
So once you sealed the deal, because there's so much tension built up, right?
Yeah.
Was it everything that you wanted it to be?
Oh my God, this is a crazy question. I would say yes. It was good. The first time was very good. I think she told me the second time that she's still moving me in her brain because I'm over here with like the friend group that we met through and I'm like 24, I'm too young, and she's slowly moving me to like the bedroom part of her brain. So we haven't gone like full wild feral yet as I would
So
like.
The way that she mates, is it in a dark way? Is it the way that she prefers to mate? Like she's a dark underlord of the lesbian arts?
She is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she is. She does know what she's doing.
Okay.
I can tell. I can tell when there's 40 years of experience. It's there.
It'd
And
be
it
sad
does.
if you had 40 years and you weren't like
Oh
pro
my God,
level.
yeah.
Like max, what do we call it?
Super
Supermax.
max.
Supermax.
Supermax skills.
Supermax skills in the dark lesbian arts. Yeah, lesbian dark arts.
No,
Yeah.
she is. She's super max lesbian dark artist.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's been around the first time. Yeah. It was like 2 lightning strikes, but not the full storm. But we're building up to that. Except now we've been going out for a month and I fear we've gotten too comfortable. So
What does that mean?
Yeah, what's your version of too comfortable?
like we hung out this past weekend and we were both really, really tired. So we hung out for 24 hours but didn't actually do the deed. And I was like,
God, this, yeah.
You guys seem like you'll relate on some
this
of
is
this
what
stuff.
happens.
This is what happens.
It's
and,
really bad. And then,
It's a curse. And it's a curse that I often find in
Yeah.
these streets. But I thought it was because I go for unhinged. And so what I find is that essentially, and this is actually something that's happened to me a lot, because I tend to go for
I'm curious.
a lot of individuals who are afflicted, afflicted with,
Mental illness.
yeah, mental illness and, like mood disorders. We could say.
100%.
And I don't know why this is, but when I meet them, their lives are in full shape, like full order.
Oh, yeah.
They have jobs. Okay.
She's not lying either. This really
literally
happens.
what
Oh my
happens
God.
to me. They have jobs. They are mentally stable.
Like passions or things that they're
Passions.
interested in.
Correct. And then we literally have the most mind-blowing, what I call extraterrestrial mating. and
Wow.
I'm like sent to a different level. It's like it's like witchcraft. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Now if only this stayed like this."
No.
And then around a month in,
You're right. Yeah.
it's around a month. Essentially, what happens is I call it the face rip, and they rip their faces off. Their life falls apart. They become wildly unhinged and afflicted in their mental illness.
Yeah.
And I'm talking stuff like maybe seeing stuff,
Yeah.
maybe, make up illnesses.
Oh my God.
Multiple illnesses.
Multiple illnesses. One of them said they had a brain tumor.
Oh my
There was wild stuff. It was
It's
like
so
it's
scary.
wild
Yeah.
and it's really scary. And so then the mating just ends, and I'm there to be like, this was so great, and what
And
happened?
now.
But you seem like you don't deal with unhinged.
No, I do.
Oh.
This is I was journaling about this. I have to journal every day to maintain stability. But
That's
I
good.
would say with this older individual, I wrote that despite maybe some differences, I feel very safe with her because our conflict is very healthy. Like I feel very safe having conflict with her or any disagreement or a little miscommunication that we have here and there.
She's rational.
Yeah.
Other women are not balanced. And I have a crying rule. You can't cry more than twice per month with me.
I like her. I like her.
You can't.
I like her.
I dated
That's all I
someone
needed to
last
hear.
I
year.
can't do it.
You
Do
can't cry every day.
Wait, can we talk about this?
This
In
is incredible.
in
Yeah.
lesbian land, you guys are out here crying every day. And I
Get on a
don't
beta
know
blocker.
if it's
Yes.
med adjustment. You say that you're just emotional. That may be true. But there is a compatibility issue with myself where I don't want to be around somebody who cries every day. It's just not my vibe. I like to laugh. I like to be happy.
Yes.
And I probably shouldn't say that, but you kill it. What is it?
You're
Kendrick
killing my vibe.
Lamar. Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Literally.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I won't do it.
I don't like it with friends.
tough.
I don't like it with anyone. I just don't. And
But I think twice a month, right?
That's
is
lenient.
fair. It's fair.
I said lenient.
Wow.
I said lenient. I think it's good.
I could go tight, like even more. I could go once a month.
Yeah, and honestly,
yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could cry more. I don't wish that.
Around the period, I do give grace.
Yeah, of course.
That's different.
That's
but
the
we're
second
talk-
time a month.
Okay.
That's fair. Second.
But you could have maybe two in the period, and then you can have like one other than that.
No, not for me.
Because now you're getting close to once a week, and I won't do that.
Yeah, that is really
That
close.
is true, actually. I never thought of that.
It's too much. You wouldn't.
Yeah.
You're saying that now, but I think on a personal level, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe right now, like on paper, it sounds fine, but then when you say like, well, that's once a week, it's like
I didn't even think
ooh,
of that though,
Yeah.
because once a week.
is a lot.
It's 4 times a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? I haven't even dealt with that because I go supermax unhinged, and so it's literally every day, or it's
Every
like,
other or something like that.
It's like, yeah, that's honestly, I'm
2
like,
times a
wow,
week.
what a break! Like you don't cry every day. How novel!
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's such a luxurious life when you're with somebody that doesn't cry every day. And you know
Yeah.
what's interesting is that they always. I don't want to say make excuses, but they're
No, they
always
do.
they're like, this is normal. And I'm like, this can't be normal.
They'll gaslight you.
Yes.
It's not. It's not. I cry 4 times a year, and maybe I've
oh my
repressed.
God.
I'm fine. I'm fine. There's
Right.
really no reason. You journal, work out,
Yes.
have some good friends,
Yeah.
be normal.
Yes.
So
oh my
you
God.
believe in having friends. What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
Oh.
We got in trouble again, and we won't let this go.
I'm not letting it go.
For a clip that we put out because somebody came on and said that her, hard line is that she doesn't want to date anybody that doesn't have friends. And then we got assassinated online that we're bullies and we're mean and, all these kind of people.
We need to
out
bring
there.
back bullying a little.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
Healthy
sorry.
shame. Healthy shame.
Okay, maybe, but I don't even think that this is bullying. I think that you are allowed to have hard lines for yourself
Of what you like and what you don't.
preferences. Like, let's be real. And everyone's so scared to say that. Like, we have to be sheep out here and think the same. It's really crazy out here.
Didn't we have, never mind.
No, please.
Didn't we have some other like freak show say, like, we had like some freak show.
Oh my God.
Like, say it with your chest, like say our name. I don't remember yours.
No,
but
we did have a freak show on the internet
that's
that
what
was
I'm saying
really
about.
upset. Yeah.
I don't know your name, so maybe you should tag us next time because then, maybe I'll say your name. But it was like the same thing. What was it about? It was like
that was about
piss bush.
it was about Bush.
Oh, I saw that.
It was about Bush.
I love.
It was about Bush, and she was like, and you know what? We're not going to say your name, but I did see you.
I don't remember.
And you know what she said? She goes, imagine being on a lesbian podcast and being a lesbian and saying in a panel full of lesbians that you like your girls clean shaven. And it's like, you know what? I can imagine because you know what? People are allowed to have preferences. So wild that we said that. I can't even imagine a world where two people could think differently, right? Tula, that's a crazy.
We also said too, like,
it's a crazy idea,
Crazy,
right?
wild,
We
unheard
should
of.
all be sheep and buying in line, like together, because God forbid. And then what did they say in the comments? Like, you can think these things, but you cannot say them out loud.
Yes, that was
And
somebody
it's
wrote
like,
that.
wow,
It's a
you're
dictatorship.
right. It's
Yes.
a dictatorship out here. It
But
really.
I literally said, like, this is what I like for myself. Like, that is what I said. Like, watch our clip or like watch the full pod before you know what I mean?
And next time, shout our names so that we'll tell
Can
you.
remember you.
Yeah, so we can tell you our response. But we'll post that clip. Don't worry. Clip that.
And I know this is ironic for me to say as the femcel online, but
Yeah.
I think there is a little bit of an incel streak with some of that.
Yes.
Them being like, I want to have a full piss bush. I want to have no friends, and you still have to love me. I'm like,
yes, it's like a
Wait.
choice.
And it's like, I
yeah.
can choose not to actually love you because this
Believe it or not.
isn't, again, this isn't prison. We're not in jail.
Yeah.
You can't force me to do or say anything. In fact, hopefully you believe in a world that doesn't exist in. Just crazy thoughts out here.
yeah,
Crazy.
preferences are allowed, and you shouldn't be, crucified because you have a preference. I'm sorry.
God forbid.
Like, you have food preferences, you have everything preferences. It's
Yeah.
just like, that's life,
Yeah.
Anyways.
and these are some of the least offensive preferences too.
Yeah.
because these are choices.
Totally.
It's not innate. That's a decision. That's
It's
not
a
even.
decision.
It's in your control.
It's a choice.
It's
And
in your
by the way,
control.
it doesn't mean that if I'm dating somebody and she hasn't shaved for a week, I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean that. It just means that, like, hey,
Off rip, maybe that's not what you would pick.
not for a one night stand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But guess what? I did it one time. How about this? So I did it one time recently, not recently, but maybe 2 years ago. And not like this is the only time I've ever done it. But I went in, I hadn't seen this girl in forever, and she came in full bush. And I was traveling. And so I was out of town. I had forgotten my floss, went down, the cubicle got stuck
in your teeth.
in my tooth. It is now 2 a.m. and I am without floss. She didn't bring floss. I was without floss with a cubicle in my
God.
teeth, and I had to sleep like that all night. You think that's what I prefer? You think that's what I prefer? I don't. And I have,
you don't want to do it again.
no, I don't.
Wait, I was gonna say something really unhinged where I thought that was
Please.
going. I thought you were gonna use the pubicle as floss.
That's what I thought, too.
that's where
If
it was
I could have
going.
gotten it out,
With more, you probably
possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. It's not a bad idea, but I couldn't.
Write
I was
that
like
down.
Wedging.
You couldn't even get
I
it
was
out.
wedging it
Wow.
out of my, because it really got, because when I go in, I dive deep,
Yeah.
You can't also sleep. Like, when I have shit in my teeth, it's like,
Oh
hard
my
for me
God,
to
it was so
sleep. Like, have to
uncomfortable.
get up, go
Yeah.
get it fixed.
I
It's
hope
a
this never
sensory
happens
thing.
to me.
yeah, may that never find.
Befall me.
Correct.
Me, yeah. Other things in my mouth, but not.
Yeah.
Wait, what else?
Cubes
What
in
were
my
we
teeth.
talking about? Because I feel like we've just
we
interrupted you.
went on tangent.
Yeah, we've
And
interrupted
we're talking about
you.
people are not balanced.
Yes. Thank you.
They're not. They're not. But, and then the deal. Oh, yeah. We've gotten too comfortable. She's very comfortable. I don't know
yeah,
if
the
I want to
comfortable.
talk about, say specifically what. I haven't
No,
really
that's
talked
fine.
about it with anyone yet, but we'll maybe for the podcast. I don't know if it's too weird.
No, I don't.
It's never
think
too
anything is
weird. Yeah, you're in the safe space here.
It's never too weird. Okay. Okay, no one knows who she is. I'll just say she's like very comfortable going to the bathroom in her own home with the door open.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not into that.
Okay.
Okay.
And she said like she's like, by the time you're my age, you stop caring about all that. And I said, that's all fine and well, but I am not your age. So
Okay, different poop preferences.
Yeah.
You've dealt with this.
Oh, of course. I've had to break people in.
Oh, you're an open door.
I'm not an open door, but I am like that
Poop
individual.
free.
I'm poop free. Yeah. So what I don't want there to be is inhibition. Like you have to go to Starbucks. You can't do it in the home.
Oh, of course.
You feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable, things like that. And so I really try to break that barrier immediately. Like I am farting on day 2 only because, only because I just feel like it's a freer environment. I don't want there to be any inhibitions.
You set the tone.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I have just like issues with my stomach. And so it's like, it is what it is. It's going to go down. And so, like, if you don't accept me, and I just like let it all go.
Wow.
Because I need you to know me on day 1.
That's
and
fair.
if you're not about it, you're not about it.
Right. You're not doing the face thing.
I'm not pro face rip. I don't want to, because when I was younger, I did deal with that where it was like, oh, I have to hide these things about me because I don't know if people will like this or that. And then you reveal it later and they're like, who is this? And to bypass all that, I just feel like when you do it immediately, it's kind of just like, well, you knew what it was on day 1.
True. I kept it real
I
from day
gave you
one.
everything I had.
Yeah.
And either you're into it or you're not.
Okay.
But the door open is an interesting move.
And she's not willing to just close it, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very simple.
I think the first time I was like, can you close it? And then she was like, fine. She's like, of course. But then the second time it was like at 5 a.m, like I had slept over and we were both kind of awake and talking at 5 a.m. And then she went to the bathroom and this door open and we were both like too tired and groggy for me to like effectively communicate at that moment. But I was kind of like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Well, she just wants to poop.
She wanted to keep the chat going.
No, but they weren't talking at 5 a.m.
No, she said they were chatting.
We were chatting. We stopped. Her bathroom is far enough down the hall from her room that like I guess we could talk, but we weren't. But I wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was to keep the chat. Yeah,
we couldn't. I guess if it was to keep the chat, that actually would have been more acceptable to me.
Yeah,
that's what I would think. Yeah.
No, but she said they were not
dead silence.
That's why just close the toilet door.
Yeah. Dead silence. And I always close it, which I feel like should be an indicator. She's very much like, this is my house. I'm comfortable in my home. Deal with it a little bit. I feel like that's halfway her vibe. And then the other half is if I do remind her, she'll close it. But that's not her go-to natural thing.
Put a sticky note on her door by the handle and say, if you're pooping, close the fucking door.
Sometimes I worry, like, am I too squeamish or whatever for asking for that? Like, I just think,
no,
I don't want to do that.
Again, it's a preference, right?
Right. And it's by choice.
There's something
that's
wrong.
fine.
Yeah.
A door closed, that's fine.
You compromise though, Tippy, with things like that.
I do, absolutely. But I just don't want you running to Starbucks or like, oh, you have to go 5 miles away when I do
I'm totally
this.
against
Like,
that.
that's not, I don't know. I think that's
No,
too
just
much
do it with
for
the
me.
door
No,
closed.
it's extreme.
Door closed.
But door closed, I feel like is a fair
100%.
compromise.
Unless I'm trying to keep a chat.
Yes, that's different.
Because I am.
But then you're both actively choosing to have the door open to continue
Or
to chat.
also if there's like an emergency. Like,
You're thinking
I went to
extremes. I think
Mexico.
you're
I went to
thinking daily.
Mexico and I had an incident that happened and I needed a lady that I was dating at the time to come in.
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been a close relationship.
It got it
Yeah,
got close.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That was close. Okay.
I mean,
It brings
it's
you
not.
closer.
There's a difference how you act with somebody that you're dating on month 1 versus like somebody that you plan to be with long term. For me, versus a casual thing.
Unless accidents happen when you fart really loud. I've done that.
Yeah, well,
Too
that
quickly.
you can't.
That's
You can't
life.
avoid that.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
better. I mean, listen, I'm pro fart. That's me.
Yeah.
You're pro fart.
I'm pro fart.
Wow, bumper sticker that.
Yeah, I like just
honestly.
get it out.
I'm pro fart.
You can't be anti-fart.
No.
No.
I think it's funny when people are. I'm like, get out of here. You fart. We all know you fart. So
Yeah.
stop pretending.
Absolutely.
It's weird.
Well, I think what's good about this is that she and I are clearly not going to be long term. So,
Oh, you know that.
yeah.
Right, 'cause she's gonna die?
I thought maybe. No.
Is it too much?
No, it's
I
fine.
mean, eventually.
We all
Right.
die.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you
It
guys
was-
were like heading into long term. No?
I mean, how long term can you really be with someone who's almost 70?
If she came to you with a contract proposition and was like, I want you to be my toy for whenever I feel the calling to mate until, my death, And then if you do these contractual duties, I will leave you my estate.
Oh, 1,000%.
You should
Okay.
probably write that before she does.
Right. And before she loses the mind
Yes,
a little.
you should do it because I think it is, honestly, because you're having fun, it sounds, right?
Fun,
Obviously.
yeah.
So it's like, if you're already having fun, you may as well inherit a home
That too.
or like whatever
Yeah.
that is, a condo. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
And now a question, would you say this is the best that you've had in your life?
That's such a good question.
Because we're talking about 40 years Lesbo Town Nation
I would expect it
experience.
to be the
I would
best.
hope so. If you're not bringing the thunder,
it's in the top 5 because she's been honest with me and told me she has not given me her full self yet.
No,
she's
totally.
still adjusting to me and adjusting where I am in her brain. But I think for sure top 5, and I very much see the potential. Like I know when she does release the full storm,
it will be crazy.
It will be number 1.
I told our friends like this happened. I said there's going to be an earthquake the night it happens. Like you'll know because the San Andreas will part. And literally that week that there was that earthquake in Ventura,
Yeah.
that day this freaked me out. That was the first day that we did something.
Okay.
Oh my
So
God.
literally, but it was only a 4.2 that earthquake. So when I get the full thunder from her, like
We'll know.
take stuff down from the walls, find somewhere to duck. Like, yeah, be careful out there.
We'll know.
Southern California, yeah.
We'll text you when the earthquake happens to verify.
yeah. It'll
Yeah.
be my fault too, honestly. You can blame it on me.
Are there like clear roles in what you guys do? Like, is there a clear like top, bottom, flex, or are you guys both flexitarians? Like, how is this operating?
Okay, this is such a fascinating part of the dynamic because I've only ever topped with women.
Oh.
Like, only bared the harness. Lower back muscles are crazy, but she's like 67-year-old old school butch, like relic vibe.
Yeah.
Relic.
Where she's like, she doesn't do any penetration at all, ever. I mean,
Okay.
I can do other stuff to her, but nothing penetrative. And then, so I was like, well, now's my time to bottom. This is it. But we haven't gotten there yet because she's adjusting me in her brain. So we've done a lot of other stuff. You know, we've
A lot of going
mated.
down to Australia.
A lot of going down
under.
under.
Yeah, going down under.
Yes,
Down
yes,
under.
yes.
Lick game strong?
Extremely.
Okay.
Extremely
Strong
fierce.
lick.
A lot of need for forearm massage after, before, during, maybe, but yeah, she's like a full top, like no question. And when I have tried to be a little bit more dominant to her, she like laughs in my face, which I find
I get
kind of
that.
hot.
That's
I'm
I
like,
would like
actually,
I do that.
I would like
you
that.
do that.
Of course.
Okay, you.
But I'm a
laugh.
strict top. So I am
You as well.
super strict top. That doesn't mean that like I don't like anything penetrative. It just is an energy, right? So it's like if that's happening, I am in control still.
Oh yeah, you can top from the bottom.
Totally.
That's like really ideal, actually. I think,
Totally.
Yeah.
I top from any location.
Side,
So
bottom,
yeah.
up, down. Yeah.
But my question to you is there a difference in your sex drives
Oh,
with the age gap?
So she did tell me that after menopause, which she has been through, of course,
Yeah.
your hormones change. Because she told me when she was my age, I have like the highest drive out there, like adult male gorilla. I say in my stand up, like that is the drive. we're talking.
That's
Like,
very
just-
similar to me.
Yes.
Yeah, mating calls, all that. But she said, she's like, I get it. She was like, when I was your age, I was like that. Like I was like trying to do it twice a day, every day. I was chasing after everyone. And then she said, once you go through menopause, she still gets around for sure. Like she always has a girlfriend. She's hooking up. She's out there clearly. Like there were no cobwebs when I went down there. Like she's active. But she said that after menopause, you need an object of desire to feel
Compelled.
to feel compelled. That's a good
Yes.
censor-friendly word. Because like I'll feel compelled whether or not there's someone that I'm with at the time. Like I'm just like constantly compelled. But
Yeah.
she's like, no, you kind of need someone.
A muse, if you will.
Yeah, you need a muse, exactly.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
now,
muse. Good.
now that I'm her muse, I think our drives are similar for each other. Hers is probably a little less than mine, just because she's like been around the block so many times. She built the block. She owns the block.
Like
Yeah,
the difference,
so-
ideally, how many times per week do you think she would probably ideally want?
Probably once.
And you would like,
Every day.
if it's the same
Ideal.
person, you can burn out. Okay, fine. If it's not going to burn out, then yeah, every day.
how many times a day?
I'll say once, because I work.
If you were a concubine, like ideal, you had nothing to do, how many times a day?
Twice. I would do morning and afternoon. That's also my preferred times to do the deed in general. I'm a morning afternoon girl. The cookie doesn't always crumble that way.
And now if you were somebody's like concubine though, how many times would be your max that you could do?
When would I tap out?
What's the tap out level?
Five in a day. I could do
five in a day. And these are going for how long? Because in lesbian land, we are able to go for hours or less, but there's a lot of capabilities there.
Right. Like 5 times might actually take up the whole 24 hours.
It could.
You might not sleep.
Yeah.
Or 8. I don't know how you would cut it off. Well, okay, if you're awake for 16 hours.
Yeah.
You could do 5 3-hour sessions.
God, you're good at math. That's crazy.
And
She's
have
so
1
good.
hour for eating.
Yeah. You have to nourish, apparently, they say.
Just almonds and Gatorade.
I was thinking this the other day when in my 20s, the woman that I was with was so insatiable. I remember, which was such a good problem to have. I remember I came home from work and I was like, I just need a second. I'm hungry. I need to eat this sandwich. And she was like, hell, you're going to eat that sandwich. If you're going to eat that sandwich, you better mate me now. And I was like, oh my God. So literally I found myself like hitting it from the back as I was eating the sandwich. And the crumbs were like literally like crumbling. It was like pre-Jersey Mike's, but it was like a Jersey Mike's sub sandwich. And the crumbs were, I think it was a Subway, just crumbling onto her back as I was like pleasing her.
Foot long and a foot long.
Yeah. Amazing. It was really quite something. I thought of that the other day and I was like, good times.
They did want to hear more New York stories.
There you go. That's from New York. Yeah.
That's amazing. How long were you together?
10 years. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah.
And did it change that dynamic of
No. So that's actually the only individual whose sex drive did not change and
matched.
That's how we remained for 10 years because it was just.
Wow.
I mean, it was just completely. I could have it whenever I wanted. She could have it whenever she wanted.
That's magic.
Incredible.
Wow.
How did you meet?
I met her through an ex-mate. My first mate, who is trans, I think was trying to mate with her. Or so, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, but didn't yet. And then I was hanging out, I guess, as friends. You learn things when you're in your early 20s, never to do again. But they were like, stay away from her only because she's trouble.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
She's trouble. And I was like, she's so hot. She was so hot. She was hanging out with all the supermodels in New York.
And she was trouble.
That's cool.
And she was trouble.
She was trouble.
And she was.
Yeah.
And then we were together for 10 years after that. Yeah.
Is she still causing trouble on the streets of New York like this? Do you know?
No. She caused so much trouble. She had to reform her life.
She's like Catholic now.
So she moved to the woods in upstate and she like hunts mushrooms now. Yeah. She's a great girl though.
Baby, this is where I'll be.
Yeah, she hunts mushrooms. But we now are, we went into our separate ways and totally.
Mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's beautiful. Because
She's like a vegan now. It's rampant in the community.
Do what you want.
The veganism, yeah.
It is. I was going to say, I have a lot of bad, what's the word? Not red flags, but things I don't like. Icks. I have a lot of bad lesbian icks.
We were going to ask you, what are some of these icks?
I don't like astrology. I don't like cats. I don't like this is bad. Like,
no,
it's a preference.
It's like you find a girl in lesbian land, queer land, always has a cat.
I hate cats.
Always has a cat. Is so unhinged, then you start dating her, then it becomes 2 cats. And then when they're even next level unhinged, then they're like, oh, guess what? I bought another cat. And now you got 3 cats. And they're like, do you want to get married? And I'm like, well, I did when it was 1 cat. But now that you have 3 cats, I'm not looking to have my entire home be shredded to pieces. I don't want it terrorized by these animals.
I just want to say the more cats, the more personality disorders.
Of course.
You guys, I have a fucking cat.
She was hit, but 3 cats, she was histrionic.
It's like cluster B or C personality disorder.
For sure, That's my bread and butter is cluster B.
No, it really is. We said mood disorder, we meant cluster B.
It's cluster B. Wow, you're very well versed.
My mom is all of cluster B.
I feel like we
All
all
about
have,
it.
like
Cluster B
family
parents.
members. Like we all have a friend or a mother or a sister or a brother.
Everyone has a cluster B in the hemisphere.
Yeah, you've met one.
And then if you guys don't know what we're talking about with cluster B, Tallulah, why don't you inform the listeners
really
what the
lucky.
cluster Bs are? We're
cluster
talking.
B, let's do histrionic example. It's like, ask me what I do for a living.
What do you do for a living?
I'm the mayor of Manhattan. Just so everybody knows, there is no mayor of Manhattan. There's none. It is like compulsive, lying like that for no reason. And if you were to say to me, that's not real, I would get so angry at you and start sweating and maybe even throw something at you and say, yes, it is. And that's cluster B. So, yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, but it's basically histrionic, borderline, bipolar.
Antisocial.
what did they call the book?
The DSM.
Yeah,
5, but
sorry,
there
I'm
might
not
be
up
a
on my
6.
DSM.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also CTM, crying too much. That's a cluster B. If
I
you
feel
cry,
like that should be an acronym.
if you cry more than once a week, it's CTM. That's the
CTM.
diagnosis.
Have
Too
you
much
had an incident where you were with somebody and they, met their quota and you had to end the relationship? And did you say, hey, you met your quota. It's time to go now. You can't be in my queer land.
I didn't say that to her. There's someone I'm thinking of in mind.
You lie to them.
We didn't even have a clear breakup situation. We had a very intense thing for like a month and a half and then kind of had one awkward goodbye. And then she texted me, rightfully so, being like, it doesn't feel good to end on this note without clarity. And so then we talked about it. And I just kind of said, I just don't feel like we're compatible for dating in this way.
Yeah.
Because you can't. I guess it depends on the person who cries too much, but I think most of them you can't tell them because you
can't reason with
you
it.
can't make people feel bad for expressing vulnerability.
Yeah,
I guess like I don't want to make
It
her
just is a
feel bad.
compatibility issue.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they can probably find another heavy crier that they literally will be so compatible with.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
It's real.
Because there is somebody for everybody. It's like the no friends people.
Yeah.
Find another person with no friends or somebody who is chill with you having no friends.
Feels
I do
like home for
yeah,
you.
I do feel like there might be somebody for everybody unless we're dealing with, some real dark stuff here. But if you're not, then, you can find your mate. And the people who don't like the heavy criers aren't going to really go well with Tear Central.
No, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, exactly.
We've actually met heavy criers that love crying together.
It's
do,
a
and
form of
they-
intimacy for
like
them.
like a tear circle.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Oh
don't
my
get
God.
it.
Like, I don't like when I cry. It's
No, I
unenjoyable
hate
for
it.
me. It's unenjoyable for me.
Yeah.
And you know what? People are going to say, that's your trauma. That's your trauma.
Fine.
Don't care.
It's how I feel.
Yeah. Honestly, it's good traumatic response to have.
That's how I feel.
Honestly,
But then they say, "Oh, you guys are avoidant, mentally
Repressed.
ill."
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care.
Avoid it,
Good.
avoid it.
I'm like, then you know what? I am.
Yeah, and I can go to work every day and not cry at work. It's
Or
so I'm
like,
fine
or,
with it.
or call sick when my emotions have gotten the
I
best
need
of me.
tears.
That's a good one too. Like, oh yeah, like in the queer dating circle, I found like literally people that I've dated where they're like, yeah, I'm just too emotionally unwell to go to work today, and I'm like, wow, that must be something.
Like I have to go to work.
Like, I have to go
Anyways.
to work anyway. Like, I have to go to work through death, despair, and, people perishing. Like, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
Literally. No, and they also start crying at the worst time. I don't know if that's what but it's like we'll be at the beach or this woman I'm thinking of. She was started crying at a candy store
What?
that we were at. We're at a candy store. Compartmentalize.
Yes, that's what I'm
Compartmentalize
talking about.
for 2 hours. Have some chocolate.
What was she upset about?
Yeah, I gotta know.
Oh man, there's a lot of lore here. I said something in the wrong tone. It's like literally always that, and it's like don't not say it. You can say I don't like the way you said that, and then we can move on. I'll apologize.
I'll
I
correct
take
it.
criticism, but she was just like, if you're gonna always be like this, then I can't be here, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, she brought up something that I didn't want to talk about. Because I'd said before, I don't want to talk about that. And then I said, I don't want to talk about this. But I guess I maybe said it too forcefully. And then I got a weird vibe from her, but I was like, I'm just going to let
Ignore
this play
this,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to avoid. I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
Really
Literally avoid. avoid for
But
life.
also, you did give a boundary of like, I don't want to talk about this. And then when the boundary was crossed and it wasn't received well, then she started crying.
And she also interpreted it as like, I don't want to talk at all about anything. And I just said, no,
Yeah.
I don't like this particular topic because we've been through it. And it's just like, we've agreed to disagree. There's no point in bringing it up again. She brought it up again. I don't want to talk about this. Let's just go into this candy store.
Yeah.
And then she was being weird. And then like, she fully started crying. She's like, I just can't have you talking like that and like shutting me down when I'm trying to talk about something. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then we didn't get any candy or chocolate. We literally had to go home.
That's actually
the
the
vibe
worst
was
part.
too off. I've had people cry to me on the way to the beach. We're going to the beach.
Nobody
Be
messes
happy.
with your sweeties. You
No,
would
that would have sent me. I would have kicked her out of the car.
Yeah.
Or, wait, you're a sweeties? Like you're a sweet tooth
I
person, you
have,
mean?
yeah.
It's
okay.
oh my God. And if
Sweet
somebody
treat.
prevented
God.
Tallulah from getting her sweeties,
You've seen me
you would
actually
have an
episodes.
aneurysm. Like
Yeah.
you
Oh my
would be full send, upset.
You've heard. Yeah.
It would
I
get
would
dark
have
in the
fights
candy store.
In a candy store or had
I haven't had a fight in a candy store. I actually had a fight with a client outside of a candy store, and I
yeah.
made her wait outside. I was like, if you are going to ruin this for me, even though I'm working for your family, you're going to sit outside. And she was scared. It wasn't
You're
Westwood.
not going to ruin my good
Yeah,
time.
you're not. She was like terrified to be in Westwood. And I was like, well, you're going to sit outside and I'll get the sweeties for us. And
Okay.
I did.
That's beautiful. That's good. I like that you stuck to your boundary and got your candy.
Yeah,
I needed to.
Nothing will stop her.
No, sweeties are
good.
important. I would have had an
Sweeties
episode.
are first, and your emotions are second.
Yeah,
Honestly.
totally.
well,
Avoid it.
last.
Great.
Last, truly. Savory foods are second.
Yeah.
Other things. Emotions are 10th.
So
for
would
me
you
too.
would you say that like out here the legend and the lore about you is an F boy vibe?
But I don't do it on
An
purpose.
unintentional F boy.
Yeah, like F girl, I guess. I
Or
don't mind
F-
being called
F
F
girl.
boy. I like when you can actually say the word. It's like fun to say it with girl.
Yeah.
But I had another freaker outer. No tears. Though actually it's a little bit scarier when they freak out at you and they don't cry. Because I'm a little bit like, wait, now it's just anger.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what I
getting
mean?
hit. Like, yeah.
It's just steam.
Like it's like fogged up windows, but like no liquid. I'm a little
Yeah.
bit like, oh my god. But we had great mating, great
Oh,
experience.
my God.
We did it 3 times in 1 week together. We had our first date. Then at that point, I was like, just come over the next time, and then she came over a third time, all in the same week, and. I felt that our personalities were not compatible ultimately. Like physically, there was great chemistry, and I thought that was perhaps self-evident. Or it was evident to me. I thought it was also evident to her because she would just talk about stuff. And this has happened to me with 2 women where we're talking, and if we're lying in bed together, I kind of like start to fall asleep because of what they're saying is
You're not
so
interested. It's boring. Yeah.
She was summarizing to me all 12 seasons of a reality TV show that she's really into.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it. I was just like, I don't care.
After mating?
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
This is the last thing I want to talk about after
You
mating.
got to give me like an iced cold brew coffee with like a little bit of like some sort of upper in it for me to listen to this.
Yeah.
But like after meeting,
Yeah.
it's late at night.
Give me
Like,
some cocaine and we'll be there.
right. I need a little sniff. Oh, this was a horror story. I have my massage oils and stuff in the house, and
Always
I
on
was
deck.
always prepared. And I had given her a massage earlier in the night, and then we were talking, and like conversation was just not really going anywhere. So then she offered to give me a massage, and I was like, yes, this would be better than talking for sure.
Yes.
And then she oiled up my back and then immediately goes, okay, I feel like you're ignoring me. So now I have to have a fight with a sticky back. And I was gonna like sensorily fighting for my life. Like my back is
No.
drenched in oil, and I have to like put a shirt on over that because I'm not gonna have a fight, titties out, back sticky.
Yeah.
And this was horrible. And she's just like, I just feel like you want me to come over and like we do this and this and this. And then you're just like, you shrug me off. And I was like, I guess that kind of is what is happening here. But I said, like, don't you feel like our conversations are not fulfilling? Like, are they good for you? And she was like, yeah. I
One-sided.
was like, oh, okay. And then she said, you've been giving me mixed signals. And I said, am I giving you mixed signals or are you just a bad reader? Because I have not been giving you mixed signals. Because I probably should have shut it down. Like by the second date, she was saying stuff about having feelings, and I would be like,
On the
oh,
second date.
I know. I'm like, that's also,
That's kinda
I was talking
crazy.
with you about this. I don't feel bad because that's weird. Because that's kind of like you're on a weird conveyor belt where you're just looking for a relationship. So you just start, you have like a script, like a pre-scripted thing. I'm like, you don't know me well enough to have feelings for me.
Correct.
Or if you do think that you do, then like there's something deeply wrong with you on like a
Absolutely.
very
Well, there's a hole, right, that you're trying to fill, and it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Like, I am just,
I'm the closest
I'm
thing.
the filler for your dead space inside
Right.
of your empty heart.
Yes, totally. Or
Brutal.
you're in a
Brutal.
different
Yeah, but yeah.
But
Or
that's exactly what it is. I'm a placeholder. Like, you don't want me. You just want
the idea of
Someone.
anything.
relationship, yeah.
You just want anything, someone, whatever. But it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, it's weird.
Those
Or you're
are
in a
the
different
people-
dimension.
Yes.
Like we are not on the same
No.
storyline. Like
you
something's
are on
off.
planet Zoltar.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know that reference,
Zoltar,
but it's okay.
a different planet.
Just
okay.
literally
Anything.
another universe.
Right. But it's like you need a month and you need real conversations to know if you actually like someone or not. Having slept together twice, not enough,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And
Well,
then
it depends on the conversations, right? Like, what have
Sure.
you discussed, to even consider this person as a possible
Potential
yeah,
long-term.
potential long term. Like,
that's true.
I feel like a month.
essentially, well, because, right, the older you get, the less
Time you waste.
time that you waste for the bullshit, right? So
Sure.
when I was younger, it was fine. Like, we'll mate. Oh, it depends what my intention is. If I'm just here to mate with you, I'm not going to ask you these questions. But now I essentially want to know, what is your life plan? What are your goals for the future?
Do you have a job?
Well, definitely do you
And
have
will
a
you have
job?
a job in a month?
Yeah.
Will you have a job in a month for sure? Because I find that a lot of people
Here we
out
go.
here in LA, in the queer community, lesbians, they don't have jobs. And I know that we haven't hit that in a while, but that is true. And you can say what you want, but it has been confirmed time and time again with people who have come on this show that it is an epidemic right now. And I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. It's rough out there. The job market. Da 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 da. But there's like Uber Eats and stuff. Like, you can have a job. You can be a bartender. You can do whatever. You can literally work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter to me, but a
Just
job,
something, right?
anything.
I would be curious for Pew to do a report on what's the general U.S. employment rate and what's the lesbian employment rate. And
Yeah, it would
it's
be
different.
drastic.
It's different. Yeah, you got to be employed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I agree with you. Yeah, it's not attractive.
No, and people say that I'm being tough, but I think that, again, just having standards for what you want to kind of have, especially when you're thinking about a life partner.
Yeah.
Versus like, I don't care if you have a job
For right now,
for
kind of thing.
like the evening. I don't care about that.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of people in the community, in the queer community, they, you mate with them and then they fall in love.
Right.
And it's like, we should get married.
And I feel like a straight guy when I say this, but I don't get it. I'm like, these women are so emotional, but I'm like, they are. I'm like, it's crazy. And I get it. If you have a really good mating session, it can feel like love.
But
it's not.
I have been subject to that.
It's not, though.
No, it's not until you get the full face rip. Once you see the face rip, then you can assess literally what you are dealing with. And I always say, feels good now.
Right.
Find out after the rip.
Right.
And sometimes you said rip takes a long time too.
Yeah, rip can take rip can take a month. I've seen a year, 2 years, and 3 years was the longest ripper
Oh my God.
that I had encountered.
Do you have a nickname? Will I know?
Oh God, no, I can't identify that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Come up with one.
but
For
the
3 years.
the 3 year ripper.
They held it
was
together
something.
that long.
Yes.
The facade. That's
Yes.
crazy.
That's a long time.
I'm sure, listen, to be fair, I'm sure there were signs, but
yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there were signs, but
Signs are hard sometimes to see.
they are, for me
Yeah.
personally, they
Yeah.
are hard. I do get glamored by beauty, charm, and good mating skills.
And presents. We love presents.
Gifts also.
Oh, I'm a gift giver as well. That's part of how I seduced the older woman. I would bring her a little
It is
gift every time
so
we
I
hung
love
out.
that.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. Like
You have no idea.
it's crazy. Yeah, like her,
Well, because
her
it's
kitchen's
novel.
under construction, so I knew she was gonna have a hard time cooking. So I brought her these like really good protein bars that I like. And then the next time I brought a massage bar for her to keep at home. The next time I brought a candle for like little things. It's little things, little gifts.
Oh, no. This is so critical. Yeah, how about this? It was so simple. I was with somebody that was like, I'm at Target and I noticed that you were out of razors. And so I'm picking you up some. Which ones do you want? And because I'm so used to like literally these women, nothing. That
so
a simple Target razor, and I like them kind of jail prison style myself. So we're talking about a really cheap buy here.
Bic.
Yeah, it's a Bic razor. And it was everything to me. And right there in that little moment, I was like, this is something I could really get used to. But it was sad. It was sad for me. It was
$3.99 razor package.
The $3.99 razor
reflection
was
sad.
sad.
It's like she doesn't have to pay for it. She could shoplift it.
Yeah,
you got a $900 limit.
And she wouldn't even get charged.
Yeah. She could get you however many times $4 goes into 900. She could get you that.
That's
I think they lowered it, but yeah.
Did they lowered it?
Yeah.
Okay, don't take my word for it. I don't know.
Yeah. So you said you share a friend group with this older lady.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? So, like, essentially, your friends are friends with her?
I basically joined. I'll be anonymous with the details.
Totally.
Of it all,
you joined a knitting group.
Lesbian knitting
to hunt
group.
for an older lesbian.
Actually, yeah. Let's crochet. Because that's what lesbians are doing.
Yeah,
Great.
love that.
I found this. You start crocheting?
On my own.
You're on your way.
She can't get the third
I'm
row.
on my way.
You're on your way.
Sobbing over the third row. Anyways.
Yeah, amazing. But I joined this lesbian crochet group because I lived outside of LA for a year, and then I moved back, and I was out of college. I was like, okay, it'd be cool to expand my friend group. And I found this lesbian crochet group online, and I joined, and I entered this portal of the coolest 55 and up lesbians in all of LA, and they all have like crazy stories about like secret knocks to get into certain bars in the 80s and 90s, and like what life was like here before I was born. And
you're like, that's so cool. Let's mate.
I'm like, yes. I'm like the like you start getting to the 60s territory. I'm like, that's really hot. You're really old.
Yeah.
But
you don't cry? Cool.
Yeah. Oh, this one never cries.
I was going to say they probably don't cry. The older you get, the less crying was acceptable.
Well, because when you've been sieged and, 9/11 55 times, it actually the pain gets less and less. The sting is less. And then you stop crying after every breakup.
I feel like I'm
anything.
there.
It could be.
Old soul.
I am. That's what she tells me. She says on the inside I was born in like 1960, which I think is true.
I don't think she'd be lying to you.
She's not. No. And
Well, I don't know because there was because the gaslight was there. So you never know. You never know. There's a lot of game being ran here.
For somebody who likes to gaslight myself as much as I do,
you just
I really
gaslight
get
yourself.
gaslighted.
Yeah.
I'm always like, wait, what, Tippy? What if they're right and we're wrong?
You
and
fall
I'm like,
for it
no,
all the time.
Tallulah, don't do it.
Yeah. Anyways.
You should be able to see it. If you're
No,
so
I can't.
good.
I
Oh
just
my
take
God.
everybody's word for it. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong.
It's so interesting because you are such a good gaslighter.
I do love it. Yeah.
And yet you cannot identify the gaslight.
No.
And it happens
every day,
every
at least,
day.
like every few days.
Yeah, and I'm like, Tallulah, snap out of it. You
Yeah.
were just gaslit.
Is it in professional or relationships, or you're getting gaslit everywhere in life?
I think like everywhere. Like if I went to the gas station and you like and you told me like this Rice Krispie is $20, I'd be like, fuck. I mean, really? Like, I mean, I
that's what it
guess.
is.
And
It's so expensive, but I
Oh
guess
my God.
inflation.
yeah, I guess if he said it's inflation, I'd be like, all right, here's my card. Like,
Oh my God.
Call me, be like, wow, that Rice Krispie, Tippy, it was so expensive at the gas
Oh my
station.
God.
How much
Tippy's
did he
like-
charge you? $20.
She's like, go back.
What the fuck is going
Yeah.
on?
I'm sorry.
it's my own fault, you know?
Maybe it's karma because you do
I
it a
was
lot.
just gonna
You get
say,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
If karma's
gaslight
a
karma.
bitch.
You should have done better.
But at least you get to do it to others.
Yeah, it's funny.
So that's fine.
I like it.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious.
I
You
feel
can
like
learn from others' gaslights how to be better.
Ooh, that's true.
that is true.
That's true. The gaslight just keeps getting brighter with every
I'll just have
gaslight.
to write it
Yeah.
down, but I don't know when it's happening unless I tell you.
Yeah. I can identify it, but I don't know how to operate it myself.
Yeah. That's
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Horrible
but yours,
gaslight.
that's very healthy.
Is
super
it?
healthy.
Yeah. You know when you're
Yes.
being perhaps victimized, but you won't do it to others. That's good, no?
Yes, but it's only because probably I don't know how.
Do you want to know how?
Yeah, well, at times I think it can serve me.
You just got. It's honestly just being
And
defensive.
it's when you're with
It is.
it's when you're with another gaslighter. It would be really helpful to be able to gaslight back.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
And so
that's when-
I find a lot. I'm in these situations where I wish I could defend myself against this gaslight.
Yeah.
But
It's hard though.
it's tough. Yeah, it is. It's stay safe out there.
But you can at least identify it and walk away.
no.
I don't walk away, but I do
Oh.
identify it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay. Well, one more step and then we'll be there.
I'm trying to be better.
We can always be better. We can always be better.
Yeah,
You're like, I know I'm being gaslit, but I'm staying.
it depends.
But
It
yeah,
depends.
but I have this friend group of older lesbians, and then right before this, I got a phone call that was fascinating. There's
From the knitting circle?
from the crochet group.
From the crochet group.
Elder, there's two. It's actually fascinating age wise. There's maybe most people are over 55. I'm Gen Z. There's maybe one or two other Gen Z, and then there's one woman who's millennial Gen X, but it's like totally stratified. But I like it. I respect your queer elders. You really can learn. I've learned a lot from these women. But there's another woman. Oh, okay. So a little bit of lore with the 67-year-old. I was like going hardcore seduction. Like I was like stalking out my prey. Like I was like in full like predator mating mode. And we had another party recently in February. And I know what she's into, so I like dressed for the part. I was like,
I love this.
I'm gonna go off. I have
What is she into?
like very femme. Like
Okay.
so I wore this like dress that's like black lace with like nude colored slip under. And
Ooh.
Slut vibes.
it's very dangerous dress. It is.
Okay, love that.
And so I wore it and it worked. I was shocked. It really, like 2 days later, she called me to get dinner, and then that was the first night we kissed. And she was like thinking about it, how I looked on that party. I was like, okay, I need to stop wearing like flannels or whatever. But I won't shave my legs. But I'll wear a dress sometimes for a really hot 67-year-old. But
yeah, for the right occasion.
I mean, does she care?
about what
The
look?
legs?
No, she makes like funny comments about it. She'll just be more like, you remind me of me when I was a kid. I would go around town with armpit hair and leg hair, and I was like, but are you into it? But
Is she dolphin? Full dolphin?
she, she's like older where it's like kind of like you're less hairy
Yeah,
as you
sparse.
get
It's
older.
sparse. Hair.
It thins. It's so nice. It's like, oh, the skin's so
My
soft
legs are always
too.
fucking hairy. They're always hairy. I'm lazy. I don't care.
Yeah, it's I think I say I find hairy women hot. Like if I'm dating a woman, I'm like I prefer like leave the armpit hair out.
Yeah, which
It's
there's nothing
hot.
wrong with. Preference is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's a lot of hairy women out there that are like available for your choosing.
I
Yeah.
hope message me
Yeah.
Femcell 1836. But
It's a dying breed, the ones that actually are dolphined out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think I've been with one woman who was like haired up.
Really?
Everyone else, I don't know if it's because we're like younger, like everyone's been kind of in their
Oh.
20s, so maybe they're still like insecure or self-conscious or
30s
whatever.
are all haired out.
That's what I need to
I was
go
gonna
for.
say when I'm in at school, there's a wide range of adults and younger, whatever, and I see a lot of armpit hair.
I'm so
Oh, yeah, yeah,
jealous.
yeah.
Yeah, I do.
In individuals that aren't even queer.
No, it's both. It's
Whoa.
any both.
Yeah.
I want to say also, I have family members. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
I have family members as well that are, what do I say, hetero, straight, whatever they are. I don't know really, but yeah,
That's awesome.
long hairs.
It is confusing if they're
Long
straight.
hairs.
I think
Like I would hit on you if I see you're a woman
I
with
think
hairy
one
legs.
of
I'm
them
gonna hit on
is,
you.
like, the
Because it
family
is a
member is.
signal, like the long hair is kind of a signal
I
that you're
don't
in the
know.
queer community. And so I find it interesting that now the like hetero community is adopting this.
I know two
Yeah.
straight women that have very long armpit hair. I do. And I think it's just
Really,
like a
personal
thing.
friends.
Yes.
that would turn me on and confuse me.
Yeah.
And I would.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Would
feel
turn
like
me
it's,
on and confuse me.
I feel like it's
Turn
more
on, who wants to be
common.
like,
I
what?
feel like it's more common and it's kind of like they're very like fuck the patriarchy kind of.
Yeah,
So
which is
maybe
cool.
that's
Yeah.
what it is.
But they're like, fuck the patriarchy, but I'm going to have sex with men.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Brutal.
From my understanding, I'm like maybe that's changed, but not that I'm aware.
No, I think hipsters have made everything very confusing. I was at a party in Silver
For
Lake
sure.
a few
It's
weeks
given-
ago, and I was like, for sure, all the women here are bi. And there's a woman and I really clicked and connected. And we like swapped social media, and I messaged her the next day, like, can I take you out sometime? And she was like, yeah, it was so fun and easy to talk to. We have so much in common. I just did want to let you know that I'm straight. I hope I wasn't giving off the wrong vibe. And I was like,
Shot to the heart.
it's just like you all seem like you are not straight.
Correct.
But it's fair. People can look however they want and not shave.
Totally.
And they don't have to mate with me. But, you know, it is confusing.
So you are not exclusive with 67-year-old.
No.
Okay.
I've had 2 or 3 other encounters. Oh, another horror story.
Wait.
Sorry.
Before we get to this, I do, and I want to end on you are not exclusive with the 67-year-old.
I'm not.
Okay, so we are going to end this episode right now and take you guys to Patreon. If you want to hear about the rest of these encounters, you can definitely subscribe to our Patreon. We want to thank Femcel1836 for coming on to La Salsa Malarong Sauce. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to shout out your socials. Tell everybody, the audio listeners, where they can find you.
So TikTok and Substack, it's Femcel1836, FEMCEL1836.
And we're going to put that Tallulah right here for you for our visual representation on YouTube. And yeah, join us on Patreon. Let's continue this ride.